Right, so hello everyone, I'm Ian.
And I'm Samuel.
And we welcome you to the latest episode of Such a Ranker, the show where we take 7 completely random films and try and rank them from worst to best, as we decided and discovered from the last
That
podcast.
does make more sense to build up
Really
anticipation.
does. If we went best to worst, it would be kind of
Yeah.
a bit disappointing.
It would peak within 5 minutes.
It really would. You'd kind of be like going down to the bottom of a review score just for the score. I'm just going to forget the words and just see what's number one.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It would be like watching a film and just going to the last 5 minutes.
That's absolutely right. Anyway, so this time around, the 7 films that we will be ranking. So we have Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Star Wars is on the list, Sam.
No. This might be the first time we've talked about Star Wars in... Oh, no, we had the Harrison Ford.
We had a Harrison Ford
Deep Dive
chat.
5, yeah.
But we didn't really do an in-depth
No,
chat
this
about
is the
Star
first
Wars.
time
to be
we
fair,
will
we're probably not
focus.
going to have an in-depth chat this time around. We have to look at these things in situ and how they compare.
Yes.
But we have Star Wars Episode 1 of Phantom Menace and Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. So if, like me, you had to look up what number film this was when it first came up on my list, this is the second in the trilogy.
Yes.
So this is the second movie, Davy Jones, and all that jazz. So yes, second outing as Johnny Depp as Captain Jack. We'll get to it, I suppose. But
I'm looking forward to talking in depth about pirates.
Yep, absolutely, and CGI tentacle faces.
Yes.
Batman Begins, third
Ooh.
one. The first of the Dark Knight trilogy.
One of the great moments of your younger days.
Oh, absolutely. One of the greatest directors of all time, in my opinion. Let's see where it comes out on this list.
Yes.
The World's End, the third of the Cornetto trilogy.
Yes, the green film.
Yes. As we were just discussing off air, I think we can say that is, I think, probably one of the most underrated Edgar Wright movies. But just because it's underrated doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
Yes.
So
it's very interesting where we can put this if we ever do a sort of a Cornetto trilogy specific episode.
Yep. Then we are going to take our face off with our next film, Face Off.
Yes. One of the great films of the 1990s.
Absolutely.
And please go on.
Yes. And then then we're going to go with Ari Aster's Hereditary.
Yes, one of the great debut horror films of the last 20 years.
You could arguably say comes at the peak of the recent ebb or flow of horror movie season. Whatever way you want to say it. Anyway, the latest pick.
Yes.
The latest peak of horror films is Hereditary.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we have Grease, the second of our John Travolta films on this list.
Oh, that's very true. I didn't even realise that. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, we should do a John Travolta deep dive 5.
We should definitely do a John Travolta deep dive 5.
That would be great.
When we got a bit of a quieter week, then we'll do John Travolta. Because you even mentioned Jack Nicholson earlier on as well, and I was like, when are we ever going to do a Jack Nicholson deep dive 5?
That's very true.
All right, so where do we start with this? Should we start from the top?
Yeah, I suppose we'll start...
We began with Star Wars Episode 1 of Phantom Menace.
We'll start with Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars, The Phantom Menace. A film very...
Let's set the scene.
Okay.
Phantom Menace. 4th Star Wars movie to ever be made.
Yes.
Prequel. Beginning of the prequel trilogy.
Yes. Great time in my life.
Yep.
This is the first film I remember seeing at the cinema. Ever, yeah. Well, this or Toy Story 2. They're both 99.
Okay.
But yes, I have a very, very big soft spot for the prequel trilogy. I love them, even though I think they're incredibly flawed, particularly the first two, including this one. They have that kind of big epic charm that is sadly lacking.
It was your grow-up trilogy?
Oh, massively, yeah.
Yeah.
If I watched this when I was 25, I would probably be quite... I probably wouldn't hate it as much as the hate this film got, but it is... I don't know, it's so much fun. I saw this at the cinema last year for its 25th anniversary, and it's just these kind of films are made for the cinema. The dialogue is... It's not even just the dialogue, it's the exposition that's bad.
Yeah.
And it's like the introduction of characters is just like hilarious at times. But
it was a bold move making a political drama, putting a political drama in a in the guise of a Star Wars movie.
But I loved all that. Even as a kid, I loved all like the scheming.
Is it because it's lore, right? Like you liked the Star Wars movies, right?
I do.
Well, to say you like is probably an understatement. But like, is it because it delved deeper into a world that otherwise had been fiction up to that point?
I think the important thing about the prequels, and this is, I am a millennial. I was 6 years old when this film came out. And for me, I mean, I remember a time when there was just the original trilogy. It's only just, but I do remember that time. And these films did nothing to diminish my love for the originals at all. I think the prequels, again, I can completely understand why people think they're flawed and bad to a certain extent. But these films, I think, stand on their own to enhance the Star Wars universe. And I think everything since has been basically like tarnishing what came before, if that makes sense.
Everything after episode 1, or just
no, everything after the George Lucas ones. It's had its moments,
Okay.
but it's been a rocky road. Anyway, well, we won't go into a huge conversation about Star Wars. It'd be very interesting when we put this on our list. I would probably put this higher than maybe 2 on the list. But
I tell you what, I think I sketched myself out a little bit of where I think these would go this time around.
Yeah, based on all the films we've talked about so far, I would put this top.
Do you know what? That took me a couple of seconds. I got there in the end.
What is your opinion? Because you were about 11 or 12 when this came out, so you have a more, I don't want to say mature opinion than I do and probably still do. But I suppose you're like the perfect age demographic for this.
Well, I liked it because it was Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, it's still that, right? Like, within the first 15 minutes, you see lightsabers, and you see the...
taxation of the Trade Federation?
yeah, that too. I just thought, knowing that it was going to be a kickoff of something else, I think there is an acceptance of lore building and world building, right? So you know, for instance, that there was going to be some degree of kind of story that has to kind of come out of this. Yeah, I think it's very dry. I think in moments, like if you're going in as a kid and you just want to see lightsaber fights,
yeah,
like you're not going to get that the whole way through. But at the same time, you didn't get that in all the Star Wars films like before that either. Like there was a lot of story in Revenge of the Sith. Not necessarily. New Hope had a lot of warfare and like a lot of talks in the war room and things like that otherwise isn't throwing lightsabers around, right? So from that standpoint, I don't think it was just kind of storytelling. I think it might have been a step in the wrong direction. I can't remember seeing this necessarily at the cinema. I actually remember more vividly that they re-released the original trilogy in cinemas before this.
The special editions.
And my dad took me to go and see the special editions. And I remember being like watching it, having only seen it on VHS up until that point, or on TV, like being like, this was awesome. I have more of a memory of seeing Return of the Jedi in the cinema with my dad than I do seeing...
So we had the golden VHS box set.
Yeah.
Remember that? I just remember very vividly Return of the Jedi having Jabba the Hutt and Chewbacca on the front. I've been very confused by that.
Yeah.
Be like, why are they on the front?
But I mean, I can only really look at it now in terms of hindsight. I don't mind it because I really liked Darth Maul as a character, and the end fight scene, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan. My mind is blown. Yeah, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul. That fight scene with arguably one of the best pieces of music put to cinema.
Yes.
Was it the Battle of the? Is it the Battle of the Gods or something like that?
I should know this. Duel of the Fates.
Duel of the Fates, that's it. That's got to be probably one of the most iconic pieces of music ever, as I say.
That's the other thing. The prequel trilogy, the music is superb.
It is phenomenal.
It's
the music
so
all
good.
3 of them's not that bad.
Like every film piece or score in the prequel trilogy, in terms of the mood it's supposed to set for that particular moment, is almost like stupendous.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've got like an element of scale to it. Obviously, you had the Padme stuff going on. A bit really young Anakin, which was always
the one thing I will say about the
pod racing stuff's cool.
Yes,
and all that lot. So I think in terms of The problem is now is that we have a hindsight thing. I look at the sequel trilogy obviously with a bit more favour than I think you do.
Yes.
And I think because of that, it hasn't necessarily caused me to reappraise the prequel trilogy. I think I still have the same thoughts about it.
Yeah. I see. This is the really interesting thing. I had no idea that there was backlash against the prequels until I was, I think, in college.
Oh, okay.
Until I was like 16, 17.
Yeah.
So I suppose that sort of tells you my like level of fascination with the prequels.
But it also just goes to show, though, if it works as a movie for you of that age.
But
I think that's the other thing about it.
But that's the thing. It wasn't just like the prequel films. The video games were amazing. As I say, the music was great. They were all. I would say Battlefront. The Battlefront games were great.
Oh, Battlefront games are awesome.
Yeah.
But you also had things like Star Wars Demolition, which was also awesome. But then you had like Clone Fighter or whatever it was. It was just like,
yeah.
What?
The one thing I will say about the Phantom Menace and the prequels, mostly the first film actually, is it breaks every rule of like a screenplay. Like,
I mean, that is a subject for another day.
Like
though.
So many. Yeah, but just like briefly, like there's no established main character in Phantom Menace. They tell everything that's going on. There's like
that's what you're saying about the exposition dump, right? It's a terrible exercise.
There's just there's just so much where it's just like George Lucas is telling us absolutely everything that's going on and what people are thinking and this, that, and the other. So
and Qui-Gon Jinn is the worst Jedi of all time.
I have seen this YouTube video.
Yeah,
but
it's the best YouTube video.
No, there's worse Jedis. No. But I mean, well, I suppose he did find the chosen one. Anyway, but no.
And look how that.
So
that led.
I think based on our Star Wars discussion here, Phantom Menace is a very derided film, but I have a lot of affection for it.
I have a surprising amount. I think it's still fun.
Okay.
I think it works for a kid, which I think is it worked for me as a kid anyway.
I'm not going to lie, I do have somewhat a similar feeling about Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest. Not to quite the same degree of fandom.
Yeah.
But I watched this film at the cinema and I had a really good time.
Do you know what?
There was no story, but it was good fun.
And there was that's the thing. I rewatched this recently, had good fun with it, but at the same time, I was so unbelievably bored by it.
I would call it boring.
It's a series of set pieces that is tied together by really long moments of complete nothing.
Yeah, there's so much chaos, but like there's nothing going on.
The set pieces are so good.
Yeah, the Kraken scenes
are so good. Like that. We're talking about obviously the long peaks and troughs of nothing. It takes 45 minutes for our main characters to find each other after the first film. 45, I think it's 47 minutes before Orlando Bloom and Johnny Depp see each other on screen. 47 minutes. That is a long amount of like nothing. And I remember, and I was watching it, and I was like, "Are you joking? Like, this is nearly an hour of my life, where I should have just within 20 minutes, these guys should have met." And then once I had that realization, I then couldn't stop watching the clock. So as much as we were, I'd watch it, like I'd get to the end of a set piece and realize it went kind of nowhere, and then I'd look at my watch, and then you kind of wait, and then you get to another set piece that you knew was coming, and you get to the end of it, and you kind of look at your watch again and go, "Oh, okay." And so I became very aware of how much kind of nothing was moving in between those set pieces. So just to kind of give you an example, when Johnny Depp and Orlando Bloom do finally eventually meet each other, they are going after. They quickly meet each other, but then Johnny Depp then sends Orlando Bloom to the ship, Davy Jones' ship. Then they part again. But anyway, they eventually meet up again when they're going after the key to the chest. And there's a really, really cool set piece where it's basically him, it's Johnny Depp's character, Orlando Bloom's character, and the dude from the first one, who they've just kind of completely shamed. They find
the very British imperialist.
The guy in not coupling,
Kingsman. He dies at the very start of Kingsman.
Yeah. Anyway, they're having a really cool three-way fight scene, which then somehow leads to a random mill, a water mill in the middle of a forest, in the middle of a jungle on a random island that they've just started like fighting over. And then all of a sudden they're on this, like the wheel of the water mill then breaks off and they're still fighting each other while this thing is careering down this road. Meanwhile, you've got like Keira Knightley who's fighting two of the pirates from the first one. The dude we spoke about The Office, the guy from The Office and you know those guys from the first one.
Yeah.
She's fighting them, but then all of a sudden all of the shipmates from Davy Jones's ship just turn up on land, and then they're against the like. There's so much going on that you're like, to choreograph this action scene is so well done. The problem is, I don't care how we finished. I don't care how this scene has come about. I also don't care where it's going to go, and it's not really. It's just a lot of stuff happening on screen at once, where you're just kind of like, what? Where's this going? You know?
I don't think they knew.
I don't think they knew.
I think they were just like, we can't believe the first film did so well.
Yeah.
Let's make another one.
So we've got to do 20, 25 minutes of swashbuckling. And then they still don't know. It's almost like they were on set going, right, let's should we write something else? Like, well, I suppose they've got the key now. Who are we going to give the key to? Like, it kind of really feels so disjointed in that way, where it's just like set piece, and then kind of a bit of dialogue that kind of alludes to something but doesn't.
Yeah.
But hurry up, let's have another set piece. And you're like, oh, okay, it's really disjointed. Now, it's not any of the others, and I don't know if that's damning with faint praise. It's nowhere near as good as Black Pearl. It's nowhere near as bad as Salazar's Revenge.
See, I acknowledge the first film is the best, but I don't think there's a huge improvement from the first to the second film. As in the first film is like, let's like a masterpiece compared to the second. I think it's
I think in terms of script,
it's a lot more tightly put together in terms of structure.
If you're looking at blockbuster filmmaking, there's not much of a difference. Like it's insane, actually, the quality between sequels and
the third one,
and how good Dead Man's Chest still looks.
Yeah,
so many years.
But the third film is just a massive.
It's just a mess.
Slog.
Yeah,
it's so boring.
Yeah,
and I think the second one had enough going for it, even knowing it's a weak story.
Yeah,
to justify its existence.
Yeah.
Now comparing this to Phantom Menace so far would be interesting.
Definitely.
I think Phantom Menace
is the better film.
I think so too.
I think it's.
But then that's the flip.
The set pieces are really good.
So in Phantom Menace, every character has almost no charisma. Yeah. Where this film, you have like probably the most charismatic character of the 2000s, possibly.
Yeah.
So that's where it depends on your taste.
Do you know what? And then I'm sitting there going, oh yeah, but the soundtrack of Phantom is really good. And then you're like,
then you've got Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, but then you've got like Hans Zimmer's Pirates theme, which is
great,
probably just as iconic.
Yeah.
In some ways. And
I thought you were going to put Pirates higher.
Where you've got kind of Johnny Depp is still just being a pirate, and Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley are they're acting.
What the fuck's going on with that love triangle?
Oh, honestly, so that was one of the things that didn't make any sense to me. When I was watching it, I was like, this is so flawed. Like, this is so confusing. Like, basically the whole character arc, what they do with Keira Knightley after the first one, is like, what are you trying to achieve from this? Like, this doesn't make any sense at all.
I think so many of the characters, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, the goals were done. Like, they didn't need... I don't think they needed Keira Knightley or Orlando Bloom after the first film.
No. Well, I think they might have needed Orlando Bloom because of the whole father-son dynamic.
Oh, that's true.
Stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think they would have needed his character. And to be fair, I think you could have brought Keira Knightley along for the ride. Like to just have her going on the trajectory of doing that. But is she really potentially necessary?
No.
Because the way the story actually finishes in the third film, She's on land. He's not. Just completely erodes everything else that happens before that point.
Yeah, but they sorted that out in Salazar's Revenge, whatever it's called.
Oh, that was awful.
Film no one saw.
Well,
but,
I did. I saw that. I actually reviewed it. So
did you?
yeah.
I did see it.
My review for that film is online. If anybody cares to
okay.
watch it, look at it.
What's your review like for Batman Begins?
Oh, well, it's
20
phenomenal.
years old
Phenomenal.
this year.
I have to be completely honest. I actually think this is the best of the trilogy.
Ooh. I always
I'm not sure
say
if that's a hot take or not.
this is the best superhero origin story.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that's more justifying the character that they're doing.
Yeah. Well, this is the second film with Liam Neeson on the list, and it's also the better performance of Liam Neeson in this too.
Oh, very similar though. Both got beards. Both could be villains. Both could be good guys.
Well, I mean, if we were to believe it, if we believe the twist, Qui-Gon was always the villain. He was basically the Palpatine before Palpatine. He brought Anakin to the dark side.
Well, no, there is a thing that because Qui-Gon's master was Count Dooku.
Oh, okay.
So
he brought it to be him.
Well, there's an element like Qui-Gon was always I wouldn't call him a grey Jedi, but he was never like fully. He knew the Jedi were flawed.
Yeah.
Anyway, did Ra's al Ghul think that Bruce Wayne was flawed?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
But that's why he was trying to beat it out of him. He was trying to make him the best warrior that he could be.
Yeah.
I love Batman Begins. I genuinely think as superhero origin films go,
It's fantastic.
it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
The pacing of it, the structure of it, the set pieces, the music, again, I mean, you're looking at iconic soundtracks and stuff.
Last ever Batman film where they can't move their neck.
Yeah. Just an introduction of a character who's so well done. Christian Bale really commits to this role. But he commits to Bruce Wayne as much as he commits to Batman. And I think that is really at the centre of it. Chris Nolan, obviously from a director standpoint, I'm hugely biased towards every Chris Nolan movie ever made. I just think he's a phenomenal filmmaker. And I think his eye for... People kind of... One of the criticisms of his work is that sometimes it can be quite cold. And it's quite kind of hands-off. It's emotionless. But I think in Batman it works. That's the whole point.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, it works
and
perfect.
so, yeah, I just... Performances all around, I think this is a phenomenal movie. This is going to be high up, obviously, on the list. But I think in terms of the genre, it's a bit like Dark Knight, right? Dark Knight manages to break free of that genre filmmaking. It's not just a good superhero movie. It's just a good movie, you know? And it gets compared then to the greats because of that. It transcends the limitations of the genre, right? Whereas it doesn't matter how good Endgame is, people are still going to go, well, superhero movie. It's the best superhero movie, you know, or something like that, right? Because it's just within that. Whereas Batman Begins, Dark Knight rises to an extent. It steps outside of that, and it works on a different plane. And so, yeah, this is a good one. I can't see us not rating this highly. I've sketched out a draft, and I'm immediately now looking at my list, going,
I don't know. I have a strange relationship with the Dark Knight trilogy. I really respect them. I've just never loved them. I'm a massive fan of the Dark Knight, like big fan. I would never say they're not brilliant films, but like you, with like there's a detachment, or like this emotionless thing, and
but that oddly makes me connect with it more.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I think I've done that over a lot of Nolan stuff. Is I like that detachment of it because it makes you it kind of adds a depth to your characters in that sense.
Yeah.
Because it's that whole idea of like emotion's not really a factor in what they're doing, so it brings greater stakes to what they're doing. You know,
I love the world. I love the realism of the world that he creates.
Yeah,
particularly in the Dark Knight trilogy. I don't know how he did half the stuff with like the special effects.
Yeah.
Like the bat flying thing in Dark Knight Rises. That whole thing is like the best thing I've ever seen.
Oh, well, have you seen the making of videos of it?
No, I haven't.
It's basically a massive plane that they put on to a giant arm, and they just drove it through everything. It's basically, I think they're just scanning out the big robot arm and stuff.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
But in terms of opening a trilogy, in terms of really fleshing out the origins of a superhero character, I can't think of really any film that does better than this.
No.
Like in terms of ticking every box, I mean, I'm a big fan of the original Spider-Man film with Tobey Maguire, but I feel like fans of Spider-Man have problems with that. I don't really know anyone who has an issue with Batman or Batman Begins.
Yeah.
I know there's issues with Dark Knight Rises, which would be an interesting film to talk about.
Yeah,
one day.
definitely.
But no, it's a very solid trilogy overall, and I think Batman Begins is the standout film so far.
Yeah.
In our discussion.
Yep. So World's End, that leads on
the
to
end of a trilogy.
End of a trilogy. The end of the Cornetto trilogy.
Although saying that, obviously, The World's End is a bit like the Man with No Name trilogy, where it's a trilogy, but really it's like an anthology trilogy, because although it's the same creator and the same writers and the same actors, they're all different stories, they're all different settings, they're all different characters.
Possibly the best comedic duology of all time before World's End. I mean, two-handers, like, if you're looking at successes in a, like...
What, like Edgar Wright, Nick Frost and Simon Pegg?
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's a
very... like, back-to-back comedies and stuff, you kind of got to think, it's pretty
God,
deep.
I can't even think of a comparison. I'm trying to think of, like, the Saturday Night Live era.
I mean...
No, that's a very interesting question that I cannot answer right now.
Yeah. The only person you might be able to say is even comparable might be, say, successes of someone like Bill Murray. Or
I was thinking like Harold Ramis and Bill Murray, someone like that.
Yeah.
God, what a good question. We'll have to come back to that another
definitely
time.
come back to that one.
Yeah, but no, The World's End. The film is essentially a group of somewhat mates are hitting their 40s, and they go back to their village in Somerset to do, is it the Golden Mile? Is that what it's called? Which is basically a
series of pubs.
A pub crawl. And on this pub crawl, not only do they discover new things about themselves, they discover their town has been taken over by aliens. Or robots. I can't actually... It's
Robot aliens.
Robot aliens, yeah. And the first two acts are great. Almost as good as Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
But then the third act, it does delve towards the repetitiveness and the silliness.
It also, when they move out of the town...
Yes.
Well, as the story...
They didn't know what to do, I think.
They had no idea how to finish it.
No.
And so, because of that, it feels really disjointed compared to the other ones. Like, Hot Fuzz remains in that town. And it stays in that town. The story evolves around that town. Same as Shaun of the Dead.
It's just a little suburb in London.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, because of that, it feels really kind of quite tight and compact in terms of both storytelling and then where you eventually finish that story off. It's small stakes storytelling in unusual circumstances. Both of those then work really well because of that. I still will never forget the Summerfield shoot-off in Hot Fuzz. I still think that's one of the best scenes ever put to particularly comedic scenes put to screen.
Yeah. Paddy Considine's finest hour.
Yeah.
A great moustache.
And the Hound.
Yes.
From Game of Thrones.
What does he say? Narp.
Yeah.
Narp.
Yarp. Brilliant. Yeah. So, but we mentioned at the beginning, it's
the worst of the three.
It's the worst of the three.
But it's not bad.
I think it's not. I think it's ignored because of the fact it's the worst of the three. The same way, we could say the same thing about Dark Knight Rises. We were just literally talking about, like, in terms of because it's not that great, people don't have the same traction with it, because obviously there's not that rewatchability with it compared to the other two. It is a little bit underappreciated, but I don't think that makes it better. I just think that's just more of a highlight of what we just said in terms of it's not a bad film.
No, it's
just not.
You're completely in it. Like, you're completely full on. Like this, I mean, the scene where Gary King, that's his name, is in the toilet and discovers that they're
fantastic scene.
It's so good.
It's shot so well as an action scene goes. It's shot so well.
Yeah, and I like every character. Like, Martin Freeman's great. Paddy Considine's great.
All their realizations as adults, parents.
Yeah,
all of that lot feels incredibly, like, kind of authentic in
Yes.
a way. Like
Yeah.
everyone comes to the right realizations. It's just that weird third act where everything just kind of falls apart a little bit, where
Yeah.
they just didn't really know what to do with it. I think that's the biggest shame of it. And it kind of then, it's so disappointing it leaves a sour taste with the rest of it. Because when you do watch it, you go, I'm actually surprisingly liking this. And then it hits the third act and you just go, what is
Because
happening?
that's the thing. Like Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz have amazing third acts.
Yeah.
It's all building to this like epic conclusion.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing will ever make me laugh more than James Bond. What's his name?
Oh, Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton with the thing through his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, this really hurts. Yeah, and I just think it just ends with like this weird apocalypse.
Yeah.
And it's just like he's now like his friends are the robots versions of themselves. And very interesting film. It just doesn't stick the landing, which is disappointing. But there is rumours they are collaborating again.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's apparently Edgar Wright's next project after The Running Man.
Wow. Okay.
Because they probably should get on with it, because it's unbelievable to think that they're all like in their 50s.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
Because Shaun of the Dead, I remember coming out like it was yesterday.
Is Edgar Wright in his 50s as
This
well?
is the greatest film of all time, sorry?
Edgar Wright's in his 50s as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Wow.
just turned 50, I think.
Blimey.
But no, it's, yeah.
Anyway,
Probably-
talking about aging actors.
Oh.
Face Off.
Now,
Is this a hot take?
No, right. No, well, kind of, actually. So, Face Off, I was so devastated when people laughed at the absurdity of this film. Like, because I love this film. Like, I've loved this film since I was about 6 or 7. I used to watch this with my dad a lot.
Yeah.
And was obsessed with, like, every part of it. I loved how action themed it was, and the emotional side of it. Absolutely loved all of that kind of stuff. I love the opening scene. It perfectly sets everything in motion.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved. The whole film's great. I don't think there's really anything wrong with it. But then you watch other reviews of it, and it's like people laugh at it. And it was as devastating to me as people realising the prequels were bad.
But I think that's the
I love
nature
it.
of the cinema, right? So the way that John Woo kind of sets a story up, there is a degree of absurdity to what it is. And you can't have John Travolta and Nicolas Cage just in the same film and not expect absurdity. Even mid-90s, you're sitting there going, all right.
Can I just say, Nicolas Cage and John Travolta are absolutely amazing in this
They're
film.
absolutely phenomenal.
The way that they flip.
But are also incredibly similar to the original versions of that character.
Yeah.
Is insane. It is actually, I would arguably say, it is a character study within a character study.
I think just when I watch it, and I was obsessed, I was so obsessed with it as a kid, and it was just like the idea that like Nicolas Cage was like this person and now he's like that other person, and the way that they actually like mirror each other quite literally
Also,
at one point in the film is
John
so
Travolta's
impressive.
villain turn is creepy. Like he is a scary guy in that film. I know, like, it's not the first and it's not the only time that he's been a villain, but he's I think because of that flip and because of that switch, it's really weird. It's like the bit where he's talking to his daughter. I'm using air quotes where I'm saying that. It's like, that is a creepy scene. Like, it's weird, like, because of what you know.
Well, it does fuck with your head, because the family are clearly much happier with Castor Troy Travolta.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point. It's
Yeah.
supposed to like make you think as a viewer, like, oh, this is so weird, when he's like, the daughter loves him a lot more, and like, the wife is now like they're having a romantic time. And I love it. I still love it. I was devastated when they were talking about making like a reboot of it. And I'm just like, no, you can. It's the perfect time capsule of that time.
I mean, who would
Hollywood.
be able to recreate the dubs? Like, they
That's
just
what I mean.
wouldn't be able to do it. Like,
everyone mocks it for like these kind of things.
you don't mock
I
it.
love it.
That's John Woo filmmaking.
There is at least 5 moments in that film that like really upset me. One of them is Pollock's Troy getting taken away, and Castor Troy is like devastated.
Yeah.
The bit where the fucking the prisoner dies, that helps Archer's, I'm trying to remember the names, Archer's Nicolas Cage. Him dying was devastating.
Yeah.
The brother dying, the wife dying, the story that Archer Nicolas Cage talks when he's convincing his wife that it's him, when he's talking about the dentist.
Yeah.
It's really, really moving.
It's
really great.
Such a good film.
When people mock Nicolas Cage as an actor, I always say, watch this scene, because he can sell it.
Yeah.
And,
would you say, though, has it aged quite well in terms of it's a very 90s action movie? Like, it kind of lives and dies under that guise in a way. Like, it's a sign of its time. It's a very much a sign of its time. We look back on it with rose-tinted glasses, but has it aged well? If people were starting to mock it now, for instance.
For the most part, it's got some. It's just got some crazy Nicolas Cage shit. Like, but that's the thing. When I watched it as a kid, like the bit where he's like pretending to be a priest and he's doing some crazy dance and he's then like grabbing that girl's ass and putting that face. That's just like this horrible character's personality.
Yeah.
Like that's just who that person is. He's like a psychopath.
Yeah.
It's like the whole point.
It's very clearly got that line of like, this is a bad guy and this is a good guy.
Yeah.
And this is what would happen if it was
Freaky
Friday. It's the Freaky Friday of
But that's the thing, like it's a bad guy, but like he has like a brother who he like adores, obviously.
Yeah.
I love their relationship, like just the stuff with the shoelaces.
They're not two-dimensional villains, are they? They're quite
No, I think
fleshed out.
everything is really fleshed out.
Yeah.
The other thing that's really great is the music. The music is wonderful, particularly at the end when he comes back and he's got. I mean, don't get me wrong. It does have its moments. It's like, would you accept
very
this
melodramatic.
child? It's
Yeah,
very
it's weird.
and like I suppose you can really think about how they actually transformed. Like how you can replace faces, but how do you replace like body weight?
Yeah.
And other little bits and bobs. But it's the same thing with like the Terminator.
It's movies,
where
right?
You can overthink how like the time travel works. Just don't think about it.
Yeah.
He has to become
Dental records. Well, I think that's actually accounted for in the film, isn't it?
he has to become his enemy.
Yeah.
To like save New York. I think it's New York or LA. Can't even remember now. And then his enemy takes his own face. It's like one of the worst. Like every time he looks in the mirror, he's looking at the person who killed his son.
Yeah.
That is so fascinating to me.
Also, arguably best villain death of all time.
Well,
Not many people get harpooned.
I read this. I looked this up. We don't know if he actually died,
Okay. Well, I mean, if it is under the
I
assumption
think he
that
died.
yeah.
but apparently he didn't, and that's like the reason why they're bringing back a new
There's going
film.
to be a sequel
Apparently,
with both of them.
I don't know. I don't know if it's been.
That'd be something.
Yeah, it'd be terrible. If a film doesn't need a sequel, it's Face Off.
Yeah, true.
But I have great affection for this film. Always have, always will.
A good transition then, going from Face Off to Head Off, Hereditary.
Oh. Yes.
That has to be one of the most harrowing.
That happens twice in this film, doesn't it?
That has to be one of the most harrowing sequences in cinema, though.
Which one are we talking about? The in the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
The main one, the end of Act 1.
I feel like we should probably explain Hereditary because not a lot of people are into horrors. They probably don't know the actual story of it. But it's essentially devil worshippers within a family without realising that one of them was a devil worshipper and how that completely like unravels throughout the film.
So the film starts with the death of our main character's mum. So the Graham family are going through tragedy, they're going through mourning, and it's essentially a tale of grief and how Toni Collette's character, Charlie, I think her name is... Annie, sorry. How Annie, I think Charlie's the son, Annie essentially is just dealing with grief and where that sends her, a relationship with her family while going through this grief. Psychological horror because amongst this she essentially finds out and uncovers kind of secrets from the past about her family and her lineage, and that kind of sets off a supernatural side to events.
Yes, and it's one of the creepiest,
Is one of the
uncomfortable
creepiest,
films you'll ever see.
Scariest films that has come out of cinema in the 2010s, I'd say.
It was the last film that gave me a nightmare.
Stays with you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I watched it and then I woke up in the middle of the night thinking there was someone in the corner.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That fucking last 10 minutes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Haunting, isn't it?
It's one of the great... I mean, I always consider Robert Eggers and Ari Aster as like the last... They're like almost the two people competing in like the independent world, if you want to call it that still.
Yeah.
I suppose not so much now because they're doing like Nosferatu's.
And stuff like that, yeah.
But in terms of Robert Eggers' is The Witch and Ari Aster's Hereditary, absolutely amazing introductions to this kind of genre.
Yeah.
And
They're
films
not bad,
that really
bad
stick
flagship movies, are they? Like,
yeah. I mean, one of the worst... I mean, one of the I think underrated parts of these films is when the brother goes to bed and he's just essentially waiting for the mother to discover what's happened.
Yeah.
And you just imagine that happening.
Yeah.
Because you're essentially sitting there being like, my life is over.
Yeah.
But my other family don't know that our lives are over.
Yeah.
And I'm going to somehow make the most of what is left of what was my old life because it's going to change forever. And then, I mean, the poor dad just goes...
He goes through a turn, should we say.
Yeah.
He's a little bit poorly by the end of it.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Didn't like that toast.
Oh, honestly, I mean, we're talking about skin crawling. Like, it is... The whole movie just has this edge to it, you know? Like, there's a... You know it's weird, it's creepy.
Yeah.
And it
fantastic.
It just doesn't hold off on it. Like, it doesn't take the pedal off. Every scene is just a little bit more odd than the one previous. And it just keeps... It's almost like... Imagine if there was somebody sitting behind you in the car. And every single road that you turn down, they're just shifting their seat a little bit. And they shift a little bit more, and they shift a little more. That is the whole of that film.
Yeah.
It just is that constant malevolent presence is there from the very first scene to the very end. And by the time you get to the end of the film, your hair is on edge. Like, your hair is standing. And you can feel the shivers going down your spine. And the credits are rolling. And that's the moment where you're supposed to be relaxing. But for some reason, you're more tense. Like, as it just washes over you, what you've seen, like where it's ended, how it stayed, the analogies, what's trying to be a metaphor of. All of that stuff just kind of hits you harder and harder and harder the more you think about it.
Yeah.
And it's a remarkable bit of filmmaking.
Yeah. He's an excellent mood setter in terms of making you like feel so uncomfortable. Because I know Midsummer has its detractors, but I remember watching that film and just thinking,
I love Midsummer.
Feeling
really
so uncomfortable throughout.
Yep.
But it's a masterpiece in horror atmosphere.
Absolutely.
And very underrated performance by the girl, who I feel like doesn't do anything. Because the actor, the brother, has done quite well for himself. And obviously Toni Collette's fantastic.
He did Death Note, didn't he? Obviously Toni Collette. I think she was recognised for this quite a bit. I think she actually got awards nominations for it.
Yeah,
right?
It got a lot of like independent awards.
Yeah. But that was a turn for her as well. Incredible turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, she's a good Deep Dive 5.
She will be a great Deep Dive 5, definitely.
But yeah, moving on to films that send shivers down the spine, we're on to Grease. Now, this might sound like a hot take. I hate this film.
All right, wow, okay.
I've always hated it, and I think it's aged terribly, and I hate it.
It's a product of its time, isn't it?
Whoa! I mean, it's like a parody of the 50s. Is that? It's like, and I don't know.
Parody, satire, more parody, I suppose.
Yeah, parody. I think. Just hate it. I've never liked it. I hate the performances. I hate the songs. John Travolta. And
how many weddings have you been to? Because that's basically just the Grease soundtrack every single time.
I know, it's just painful. Anytime I hear like I have chills, they're multiplying, I just want to turn face off on. But no, I can't stand this film. And
Really?
And again, it's just aged so badly because of like the misogyny.
I think there's a lot of nostalgia for this film, and obviously people like the soundtrack. I actually only watched it for the first time probably about 5 years ago, probably 6 years ago now.
Well, it's my mum's favourite
was
film,
fine.
so I've
was
seen it a
fine.
lot.
I didn't take much from it, to be honest. Possibly because I am a fan of musicals. I like musicals. That's one of my hidden loves, my hidden passions in life is a good musical.
When a musical hits, it hits well.
It hits really well, and the thing that I found is I didn't like the merging of like what you were saying. Like it's supposed to be like a pastiche of the 50s, right? But I don't know. At the time, I was massively into Richard Linklater. I still am into Richard Linklater, who coincidentally has a film coming out soon.
Yeah.
With Ethan Hawke. And his depiction of time and what he does setting stories within certain time periods, I think it is more interesting to me than, say, something like Grease, which I know sounds like comparing apples and oranges, but for me, I don't get much from the musical genre that's also trying to be a point in time, if that makes sense. I get more from those types of period things being every day, you know? And so because of that, I didn't take a lot from it. Like I just kind of watched it, it just washed over me, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't go, that's like the best musical I've ever seen.
I just don't find the film interesting. Like the story,
No.
I just find it's so painfully cliched.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether that's the point.
That's the point, I think, yeah.
But it just doesn't hit home for me at all.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just I hate every character. Every character is like an asshole, and it just falls into that like painful stereotype.
But that's the point though, right?
Yeah, but I think just because it's the point doesn't mean it sort of like works and it doesn't hit.
And I suppose like every other question, well, like some of the other questions that we've had throughout this podcast so far, are they dead at the end?
Hopefully.
Yeah, because the whole thing with them flying in a car and stuff like that, some people said they died in a car
It
crash.
didn't stop them from making a fucking sequel.
Yeah, well,
which my mum hated. She said we saw that and it was terrible.
I think Grease 2. I think there is.
It's got it's the film debut of Michelle Pfeiffer. I
That's
believe.
it. Yeah, I would say there was parts of it where I was like, I know Grease 2. I don't know why I know Grease 2, but I know Grease 2. I have a funny feeling I've seen Grease 2.
Grease is firmly at the bottom of this list for me.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I'll probably put it a little bit higher than that.
Yeah.
Where would we go? Right, come on then.
Yes, we're on to
We've been chatting for a long time about these films, so I think we owe the audience an order.
Yes. So what have we got? We've got Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, Batman Begins, The World's End, Face Off, Hereditary, and Grease.
Yes. I think The World's End's at the bottom of this.
Ooh, that is a hot, spicy take.
That third act is so bad.
It's not so bad. It's
so derailing.
It's very derailing to what came before.
And I think, but I also don't think the first two acts are as good as the other Cornetto trilogy.
The prologue of The World's End is more interesting than Grease.
Yeah, but Grease has legacy.
Grease is at the bottom of the pile. The World's End has redeemability.
You have to try and convince me that Grease is at the bottom of this.
I have.
Because I have Grease above. I have Grease as the mid-carder.
What?
Yeah.
But there's like characters in it that are clearly 72 and they're supposed to be like 18.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have that problem in The World's End.
I don't know. I just don't know. I get the fact it is aged. So I think I would probably I'll move this further down my list, I think.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if I'd have Grease at the bottom. I think Grease has.
I'm amazed you haven't. I thought Pirates would be the wooden spoon.
No, because Pirates has the set pieces. The set pieces are so good. Like the bit at the end, like when Jack Sparrow is face to face with a Kraken.
That's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but the whole thing with the Kraken.
Every single scene with the Kraken in it.
Yeah.
Is haunting.
We haven't actually talked about how amazing Davy Jones, Bill Nighy, funny enough,
Stellan Skarsgård
is so good as
it's so
Davy
well
Jones.
cast. These films are so well cast, annoyingly so.
Yeah.
Apart from potentially Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom, that like Oh, it's
Grease is bottom. No, I'm not having this. There's no way that I can watch The World's End and
World's
think
End
this...
has to be above Grease then.
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
So very, very bottom of the pile we put Grease. I have no love lost for it. So you have more of a passion for hatred for this film than I have for middling. So I think for passable. So from that standpoint, all right, Grease is the worst film on this list
Of all time.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Then The World's End. So then I reckon I would go.
Oh,
Dead
sorry.
Man's
So
Chest.
sorry. We've definitely got Grease and
Grease
The
at
World's
the bottom,
End.
and then World's End, and then I'd say Dead Man's Chest, because I don't think Dead Man's Chest is good as the next one, which is Phantom Menace.
I mean, to be honest, I would debatably have The World's End above Pirates, but I will relent because I think Pirates has a lot more almost rewatchability, because you know it is like consistently massive set piece, massive running, great music, no story throughout.
Yeah.
Where The World's End,
we're just going to introduce like a love triangle.
The World's End has this like weird tonal like just collapse.
Yeah. That third act really lets The World's End down.
The third act doesn't have a lot of fun to it. It's just a lot of shouting, like endlessly shouting. Where Pirates has the Kraken and a very interesting little thing going on with Davy Jones.
Yeah. I think it moves all of the pawns on the chessboard into the right place.
Yeah, and then the third film is just so boring.
But it just does it over 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Oh my God, they're so long. They're so really long. Anyway, so Grease, The World's End, and then Pirates.
Grease, World's End, Pirates, then Phantom Menace.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I'm sure George Lucas will take that.
Yeah.
Phantom Menace is. I mean, that's in the middle, and I think if you're talking about this film, it is neither spectacular or terrible.
Yeah, and that song at the end, the
Duel of the Fates.
Duel of the Fates is.
And I think it does a very good job. You're talking about putting the chess pieces together. I think the prequel trilogy, that is its most consistent thing, is that it is always, despite its flaws, it knows
what it wanted to do.
It knows where it's going.
Yeah.
It knows what it needs to do. And then we have a great finale with Revenge of the Sith. Anyway, so yeah.
And I have a little soft spot for clones.
Do you?
Really?
Well, that film has. Yeah, that film is so weird. Because it's so
weird,
peak, and then so terrible.
For some reason, it's got such cool stuff in it, but so ridiculous stuff at the same time.
It's a film that I really enjoy, but will acknowledge it's got some of the worst scenes of all time in it.
Or of all time.
Yeah. Anyway,
of all time.
So we've got Grease, we've got The World's End, we've got Pirates, and then we've got Star Wars. So essentially,
I think it's got to be Face Off next.
Oh my goodness!
Tell you what, I'm going to say this. I think I know. I think it's pretty much.
Might hate me, but I would have Face Off over Batman Begins.
Would you really?
I would.
Do you know what? I couldn't.
Face Off is a marvel. No pun intended.
So this is. I mean, there's no pun there. There's no pun. If you'd have said, it's a DC of her, it wouldn't have made any sense. But I'd been like, I see what you tried to do there. But do you know what? I genuinely think that I don't think I can argue against that, because Face Off was arguably one of the best action films before The Matrix.
Ooh, that's a good shout. Yeah.
So
I'd say it's better in many ways.
So if we are just by saying that, all right, Batman Begins, we did obviously have a conversation about how it transcends the superhero genre. That is one thing. But if you then said to me, Batman Begins is one of the best superhero movies, you cannot ignore that Face Off is one of the best action movies.
Yeah, so this is the thing. It's an action film, but it's got so much heart to it.
It's good, yeah,
and it's got completely believable, brilliant motivations.
Yeah,
throughout, and the characters are so well written, and I just love it. So many twists and turns. And,
I don't think I can allow you to put it above Batman Begins, though.
But it's above Batman Begins because
it's not above Batman Begins. It's just not.
Who would win in a fight? Batman Begins or Castor Troy. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
The man's got two faces, and he can, for some reason, arm a nuclear weapon.
Nah, I still think Batman Begins as an origin story that sets off a trilogy.
Yeah, but
again, we're talking about pawns on a chessboard.
Well, that's the thing. It's a trilogy, and it's one part of a trilogy where this has got a beginning, middle,
Batman
and
Begins
end.
can stand on its own. Literally begins, ends with a Joker card. It doesn't set up the sequel at all.
Do you reckon it would have done, Face Off would have done better if it was called Face Off Begins? Sets up his own trilogy.
Face Off Rises.
Yeah, the Dark Troy.
Yeah,
and then what would the third film be?
Decrepit face on the floor.
Pollux Rises.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I would
What
have.
terrible trilogy that would be.
I would rather watch Face Off over Batman Begins.
No. Oh, I hate this game.
What would you?
I think I would probably I'd do Begins over the top of it.
Okay. Well, I will.
I put Grease at the bottom of this list.
Because it is. It absolutely is.
I mean, originally I had this by Phantom Menace.
That is unbelievable.
Phantom Menace.
That's the worst. That's the worst thing you've ever said to me.
But I caved because I actually assumed that this might come up, and so I wanted to kind of play that card early.
I think Face Off is it's a wonder of its time.
So is Batman Begins.
But
Almost
Batman Begins has been overshadowed by the glory of The Dark Knight.
But Batman Begins,
Face Off has never been overshadowed by anything.
Had to overcome all the previous Batman films.
That is very true. Okay, I'll give you. Because of that, I'll give that to you.
Yes, which then means that
is
at
true.
least the one
I'll
thing
tell
we
you what,
are on the same page for.
That is very true. Like Batman Begins, going into it had like nothing going for it after Bat Nipples.
It was the worst position it could be in.
Yeah.
It's basically, as we discussed
Die
last
Another
time,
Day.
it was Die Another Day going into Casino Royale.
Yeah, that's true.
So
wait, what have we got? We've got.
So with Grease, World's End, Dead Man's Chest, Phantom Menace, Face Off, Batman Begins.
Oh, so
And
Hereditary.
number one is Hereditary.
Hereditary.
I don't think you can ignore it. For the sheer impact that had on my bedtime routine.
Yeah. I'm astonished that you've put this above Batman Begins.
This is Hereditary physically changed me. Like it scared the absolute hell out of me. And that feeling afterwards. I've watched it now multiple times and I still have that feeling. The
dread.
You mentioned it earlier. Yeah, that sense of dread and building dread over time, building an atmosphere. Like when Charlie's in the bedroom and he's scanning the room and you just see Toni Collette in the corner. It's just, even now I'm talking about it and it's scaring the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he's so well done.
Ari Aster, did you ever see his latest film, which I have not seen, with Joaquin Phoenix? Because they're
Beau is Afraid.
Yes.
No, I never saw it.
They're collaborating again on a neo-western called Edgerton, I think.
Be first in line for that.
Yes, but no, I think Hereditary is kind of, out of all these films, very unique.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about Face Off being unique.
Yeah.
Like, Hereditary is...
Yeah.
Hereditary does something that most films on this list... No, all films on this list don't do. Hereditary has a hidden meaning. I think when... particularly horror films do this really well. It can mean something else. It can mean that there is a deeper meaning to this. It's a larger allegory for, in this case, this is grief and dealing with grief and family history and what this means. And framing it as a horror movie is just so clever. It takes those small things that everyone kind of has to deal with and creates a monster out of it that everyone then finds incredibly relatable. And I think because of that, you can't ignore the impact that this film has on people. Not many people watch this. And aside from, not many people would watch this anyway because of the fact it is so scary. But then when you add on those extra layers of everything else, not many people walk away from it going, okay, that didn't completely ruin me. Like when they the realization when she gets into the
tree house.
They get into the tree house.
Yeah.
And it's just haunting. Like I'm telling it now, I can feel the hairs on the back of my neck.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
just,
it takes
another level of
every
storytelling.
This is going to be a very hot take. Do you think it's the best horror film since possibly like The Shining? And I stress film because obviously you have like the haunting of Hill
many
House.
years in between that
That feeling of dread, though, that feeling you get where you watch it and it's just like this wonderful but horribly anxiety-driven tension that's just like rising all the time.
Yeah,
and it's like satisfying.
Yeah,
it's everything that I want in a horror. It came out in 2018, and at that point, horror had been completely taken over by jump scares.
Yeah.
And this kind of brought back the dread horror that I love.
Yeah. Well, jump scares had been, we were talking about ebb and flow of horror. Jump scares had completely drained the industry, drained the impact of horror, drained what it can do. Robert Eggers and Ari Aster both went, no, we're not going to have this.
Yeah.
And they...
Well, it ingrained it into the average audience member at the cinema, where like they go into it and they are scared by jump scares.
Yeah.
Where what you're watching is what is scary, and the unraveling of it is the dread and the horror. And that's why Midsummer works so well, because on the surface, it's just basically people at like a Swedish festival thing.
Yeah.
But there's this horrible unease
throughout.
I
remember reading or perhaps watching an interview where I asked at the time, he said, "Do you know the biggest challenge of this was make a horror film in daylight?"
Yeah.
Like that was the biggest challenge of it, essentially, was like, how can we scare people, but in daylight?
Yeah.
Because it's so often the other way around. And
all his films have just a lot of character. And that's the other thing with jump scares. There's no build up of like character development, because people are just waiting for
need the release. They need the laugh.
I'm going to go around a corner. Oh, there's nothing there. Oh, there it is now.
Yeah. And they haven't done anything to kind of do that, to bring anything to it. I think the only thing that you could potentially get close to anyone who had an impact within the horror scene before that was James Wan. Obviously, if we are talking about the jump scare king, he obviously brought it back. Yeah. But he had a very different type of horror. But that doesn't mean to say he didn't have an impact on it.
Well,
the first Conjuring was really interesting.
I don't find jump scares scary, because like if I walk around a corner and someone jumps out of me, that's not me being scared. That's just my instinct being like, what the hell? That's more defensive.
Yeah.
Where like scary for me is like The Shining, where it's like it's a build up of tension, and that's like the reward of it working. But I mean, people find jump scares scary. That's great, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a place for it. Like Paranormal Activity, I can completely understand why films like that do well.
Yeah, and actually, the first Paranormal Activity did do quite a good job at building that tension. Like, I still remember the first time watching Paranormal, and that scene where the camera and the light turns on in the attic space.
Yeah, it's effective.
It's really effective. That's not a jump scare.
Yeah,
and I think because of that, it did really well.
Yeah.
I think,
but no, I think Hereditary is the standout.
It's definitely
It's also the most recent, which is, I suppose, an interesting twist.
Yeah, we don't normally do that, do we?
No. Yeah, the most recent film is actually the standout.
Yeah, definitely. So that means then, our final countdown then is, we've got Grease, number 7. 6 is World's End. 5, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. 4 is Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 1. Then we have top 3 as Face Off, Batman Begins, and Hereditary.
Very nice.
Nice. Okay, let's wrap this up then, shall we? So, this has been the... Let me find my notes. Such a Ranker, where we take 7 random movies and we rate them from worst to best. What do you think? Did you agree with our picks? Do you argue with us about Batman Begins and Face Off? Would you change the order? Would you do what you want? Let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, you can catch us again on Spotify. Take care, and we'll see you again soon.
Goodbye.
Okay.